Bitcoin holders, welcome back to another brand new video. I hope you guys are all doing well. So yes, in today's video, I do want to give you guys an update on what is exactly happening right now for Bitcoin. There is in fact a fair few charts that I do want to show you guys indicating that Bitcoin will be going much higher in long term. Okay, yes, we know Bitcoin will eventually be reaching $1 million, and it's not going to just stop there, right? It's going to be going much higher. We're going to see Bitcoin reaching millions of dollars per coin, and this is why I've been telling guys many times to accumulate at least one full Bitcoin. You guys need to understand, for the average person to accumulate and own a full Bitcoin will be life changing. There will be set up for the future, and there will be very wealthy guys. Okay, I can tell you guys that much right now. So this is not financial advice when I tell you guys this. Always do your own research, but this is just my personal belief. Okay, but yeah, there is in fact a fair few things that I do want to talk about for today's video. But before we talk about all of that, and I'll show you guys these charts for Bitcoin, of course I want to show you guys what is happening right now for Bitcoin, because looking at the price right now for Bitcoin, man, it is looking absolutely amazing, man. Today, Bitcoin is going up, guys. Right now, Bitcoin is currently beyond $114,000. Finally, right? Bitcoin is making a move back up to the upside. And remember, guys, we are in fact in September. And as we all know, or maybe you guys don't know, but September usually, right, historically, is a very bearish month for Bitcoin, usually, right? And I'm very surprised that Bitcoin is going up right now slightly, right? It's looking, of course, much better today than where it was yesterday and for the past few days, right? Bitcoin is clearly going back up. Okay, so yeah, 114 right now for Bitcoin, looking absolutely amazing right now. Other altcoins that are actually moving as well. So yeah, the crypto market today, right, looking pretty good, looking pretty green today, I must say, right? The crypto total market cap is currently sitting at 3.96 trillion, so it's still below 4 trillion, okay? And overall, the market overall is up over 2%, so not too bad, okay? A fair few alts for the past 24 hours, okay, are in fact going up, okay? You guys clearly see that a lot of alts are up like 2%, 3%. Look at Avalanche today, 10%. What is happening right now with Avalanche, actually? Why is this altcoin going up so much today? 10%, not too bad, right? But yeah, Avalanche is looking pretty good today. Fair few alts though are actually in the greens today, right? You guys can clearly see that. So yeah, looking pretty good for Bitcoin, right? Going up today, and other altcoins, right? So looking amazing. MNT, I have no idea what this altcoin is, but it is up over 20% today. Like I said, AVAX, right? Avalanche is up 9% today. So yeah, fair few altcoins are going up today, which is always nice to see. Okay, always nice to see. Of course, Pump, right? This meme coin is up 12%. Bitcoin monthly returns, we are up 5%, guys. Not too bad. I'm very surprised that we are, coming up to 2 weeks into this month in September, and we are already up over 5%, almost 5.2%, guys. I must say, September is holding up pretty well. It's looking pretty good. I'm actually very surprised that we are actually in the greens right now and up over 5%, because I told you guys, right, historically, September is usually it is a pretty, bearish month for Bitcoin, right? And you guys can clearly see just last year in 2024, this is how bearish September is, right? Last year in 2024, for the month in September, Bitcoin was up over 7%, 7.3%. And that was the best performing September for Bitcoin history ever, right? And it was only up 7%. And you guys can clearly see right now we're up 5%. So if we can manage to end off this month in September, okay, up over 8% and beyond, right? That's gonna make this year's, right, September, the best performing September ever for Bitcoin history. We'll see what will happen. Okay, we still have, over 2 weeks left into this month. Anything can happen. We may see corrections along the way, but we will see if we will, end off this month, okay, in the greens, and better than last year in 2024, where it was up over 7.3%. So we will see about that, guys. But so far, this month, man, I'm actually very surprised, right, that Bitcoin is actually performing pretty decently. It's holding up very, very well, right? It really, really is. Same with altcoins, okay? Now, guys, the Bitcoin dominance, as I've been telling you guys many, many times, is going to be dropping. And this chart is showing us here, is indicating that we're going to see the Bitcoin dominance dropping even more, okay? So I've been telling you guys many, many times that we're going to see the Bitcoin dominance dropping to potentially, right, 50%, okay, 40%, right, even 30%. It is very, very possible, okay? So we saw this bear flag, which means it will drop. It will have this correction, okay? Even with this bear pennant, right? So you guys can clearly see more money will be flowing into altcoins, of course, okay? So understand, guys, altcoin season is coming, okay? So the Bitcoin dominance, usually when that drops, that's when alt season starts, okay? As I showed you guys many, many times here on TradingView, right? If we go to the weekly time frame, every single time, right, we see the Bitcoin dominance having a major drop. That is when alt season will happen, like what it did in 2017. When this dropped, right, the Bitcoin dominance, when it dropped massively, that's when alt season started. Same with 2021, right over here. Okay, so understand, guys, where we are right now, we're going to see a pretty decent drop back down to the downside. Okay, and this is going to be good for altcoins, right? That means money will be flowing into altcoins. Okay, and that's going to bring, you know, altcoin season, right? So yeah, we have to see the Bitcoin dominance dropping. And, you know, right now it is below, right, 60% still, right, holding just above 58%. So not too bad, but I truly do believe the Bitcoin dominance will be dropping further down to the downside. Okay, so guys, get ready for altcoin season. I do believe that is coming, so be prepared for that. Now let's get into these Bitcoin charts. Starting off with this one, okay, so Bitcoin is looking super bullish. I mean, this is not the first time that we have, in fact, been seeing a retest happening for Bitcoin. So you guys can clearly see, okay, we are in fact seeing a very, very similar pattern for what Bitcoin has in fact been doing for the past, you know, year or so. Okay, we have been seeing this retest happening for Bitcoin, and right after this retest, it just shoots up right afterwards. Okay, you guys can clearly see that it consolidates, has a retest, and then we shoot up. So that's exactly where Bitcoin is heading next, right? It's going to be going much, much higher. I told you guys many, many times. Just remember, we're still in a bull cycle. Okay, we're not entering a bear market or anything like that right now. We're still in a bull cycle. And yes, we're going to see Bitcoin going much, much higher. Okay, 124 is not the top at all, right? We're going to see Bitcoin having a beautiful reversal back up to its previous highs of $124,000. And it's not going to stop there. It's going to be going much, much higher. So Bitcoin holders, be prepared for that. Okay, now guys, I hope you guys are truly in Bitcoin for long term. Honestly, I do, right? I hope you guys are truly in this asset for long term. And this chart is showing us here that yes, right, Bitcoin will be reaching, okay, 600K, okay, to $1 million, to millions of dollars, right? That's going to be happening one day. And this is why I've been telling you guys, like I said, okay, at the beginning of this video, to accumulate at least a full Bitcoin, right? I've been begging you guys, okay, literally, I've been begging you guys. I've been telling you guys so many times now to try your best to accumulate a full Bitcoin, right? Because this one full Bitcoin will change your life, guys, truly, okay? It will. So I hope you guys are truly taking this moment right now to stack as much as you possibly can. A lot of you guys may think, you know, you guys are looking at the Bitcoin price, it's over 100K, and you may think to yourself, it's too late to buy Bitcoin. It is not too late to buy Bitcoin, right? It really, really isn't. We're still early for Bitcoin. If we're looking at it by market cap, you know, the market cap for Bitcoin is what, like beyond 2 trillion. Okay, so, you know, 2 trillion market cap, you know, it's not as high as all these other market caps, like other asset classes out there in the market, like for example, art, right, real estate, gold. It's so small. Okay, the market cap of Bitcoin is so small compared to all these other asset classes. Okay, so just think of it that way, right? We know Bitcoin, right, this digital asset will be reaching millions of dollars per coin. And trust me, okay, for the average person to buy one full Bitcoin once it reaches $1 million and millions of dollars, it's going to be impossible because the price is so high. But right now it's at 100K. Okay, you guys may think it's too late, but it's not. Just DCA into Bitcoin. Okay, and I promise you guys, once you get to, you know, 1% of a Bitcoin, right, 0.01 Bitcoin, and then you get to 10% of a Bitcoin, 0.1 Bitcoin, and then 20% of a Bitcoin, 0.2, and then half of a Bitcoin, right, 0.5 Bitcoin, you will eventually get to a full Bitcoin. Okay, just DCA for as long as you possibly can until you get to a full Bitcoin. This asset will be reaching millions of dollars per coin. I know you guys want to be wealthy in the future. I know you guys want to become millionaires, right? I know you guys want to beat inflation. I know you guys want to have control of your own money, because that's what Bitcoin is, right? Remember, guys, it's decentralized. It's not centralized, right? Bitcoin is decentralized. It's not controlled by anyone. There is no middleman, okay? Governments don't control it and banks don't control it or anything like that, right? It's literally your own money. And that's why I'm so bullish on Bitcoin, right? Because it is decentralized, okay? So understand, guys, get to a full Bitcoin. And I know a lot of us as human beings want to have freedom. And I really do believe Bitcoin will get you all of that. Okay, now let's just say, right, you finally reach that goal of accumulating and owning a full Bitcoin. Does that mean you should stop stacking Bitcoin, stop stacking Satoshis? No, you should keep stacking. Stack for a lifetime. Treat Bitcoin like it's your own savings account, right? That's the best way to do it. And of course, guys, this is not financial advice. It's just my, personal belief. Okay, I've been in Bitcoin now for over 5 years, and it's been absolutely amazing. I have learned a lot. Okay, and I know what I am buying. I know I am setting myself up for the future. Okay, not just me, but for my family as well. Okay, so that being said, guys, I hope you guys are stacking, honestly, right? So that is that. Now, looking at this, right, millions of dollars are in fact going into Bitcoin. Okay, people, whales, are buying into Bitcoin. So someone just bought $36 million worth of Bitcoins. And this person knows what is coming for Bitcoin. He knows that Bitcoin is going to go much, much higher right now in the cycle, right? Even, okay, if this person is holding it for long term, he knows we're not going to see these prices ever again for Bitcoin, right? So I hope you guys are stacking as much as you possibly can, really, just like this person, right? Now, speaking about buying, ARK Invest just bought $145 million worth of Bitcoin. Okay, so as we know, guys, okay, Cathie Wood, she is the CEO of ARK Invest, okay, and they are buying $145 million worth of Bitcoin. And these guys, man, they are stacking, as we all know. And we know Cathie Wood, she is very, very bullish on Bitcoin. She understands what she is buying. And I don't know if you guys have seen, right? I'm pretty sure everyone by now has seen her prediction for Bitcoin of where Bitcoin is heading, like in the year 2030. She is predicting that by the year 2030, we're going to see Bitcoin like at $1 million, beyond $1 million. Okay, I think the most bullish scenario she predicted was like $1.5 million per Bitcoin. That's over $1 million, 1.5 mil per Bitcoin by the year 2030. That's her prediction. Okay, so she is very, very bullish on Bitcoin. She understands what she is buying, what she's investing in and whatnot, and what she's holding. Okay, and this is amazing to see, guys, right? So you have to clearly see whales are buying, institutions are buying, companies are buying, countries, states, governments are even buying. Okay, this is the way, guys, right? They understand what they are buying and they realize they need to own Bitcoin. Just like Strategy, BlackRock, you name it. They know that they need to buy Bitcoin, okay, and they need to hold it for long term, right? So amazing to see, okay, that institutions and whatnot are buying into Bitcoin. Now, I want to show you guys this because it's actually very, very interesting. And this is mainly what I want to talk about for today's video. So you guys can clearly see right over here, there are more houses for sale in the US, but not enough buyers that can afford them. Okay, so as we all know, guys, house prices are going up. Inflation is in fact a real thing, not just houses, right? Everything in general, okay, is going up in price. Okay, and people cannot afford houses anymore. People, right, cannot buy homes anymore. Okay, even if they wanted to, they just can't afford it, right? Even just living in general is getting pretty expensive, guys. Of course, it depends on which country you're in and whatnot, right? But a lot of different countries out there, okay, like in the US, are getting pretty expensive, guys. Okay, it really, really is. And people cannot just, afford houses anymore. Even here in Australia, right? You guys know or don't know, I personally do live in Australia. Even here in Australia, right, this country, okay, millions of Aussies now can't afford to live in Australia. And that's why you are in fact seeing thousands of people, literally thousands of people per year, okay, moving out of Australia. literally, because it is so expensive here, guys. Literally, okay. Everything here is getting expensive, okay. Houses, rents, right? Just everyday cost of living is getting expensive, okay. Inflation really is a real thing, okay. Like some people out there don't think it's a real thing, but it is a real thing, okay. And people that are in their, I don't know, 20s, 30s, or 40s that want to, buy a home, their first ever home, maybe even put a deposit, they can't afford it because it's just so high, right? So what fixes this? Okay, what fixes this? Because it seems like a lot of different countries out there, all around the world, right, cannot afford houses anymore. Okay, so what fixes this is this. Okay, so I want to share this with you guys. Okay, so housing only gets cheaper on a Bitcoin standard. Okay, so understand, guys, what you're looking at is the average price of a house in the US, okay, measured in Bitcoin. Okay, so house prices only get cheaper for those who save in Bitcoin. Okay, so you have to clearly see in 2011, right, you would need over 11,000 Bitcoins to buy a home. In 2015, you would need over 600 Bitcoins to buy a home. 681 Bitcoins, apparently, right, to buy a home in 2015. 2017, right, you would need 80 Bitcoins. Okay, in 2019, you would need 20 Bitcoins to buy a home. Okay, and then in 2023, right, you would need only 10 Bitcoins. And right now in 2025, you would just need 3 Bitcoins to buy a home in the US. Okay, so this just clearly just shows you guys, okay, it gets cheaper. Okay, house prices get cheaper when you own Bitcoin, when you save in a Bitcoin, when you own a Bitcoin. And you guys need to understand, it's not just houses, like everything around you becomes cheaper. Okay, you guys need to understand, in simple terms, when you save in Bitcoin, when you own Bitcoin, right, you would actually realize everything around you, literally everything around you, becomes much, much cheaper because Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation, right? I get it. Bitcoin, yes, short term, it is volatile. It's really, really volatile. It goes up and down a whole bunch. I get that. But long term, it's always going up, right? As we all know. Just like what that chart I just showed you guys, right? This chart right over here, you guys clearly see long term, Bitcoin is always shooting up. It always recovers. It always reaches back to its previous highs and reaches new all-time highs every single time. Okay, you guys can just clearly see that, right? Yes, short term is volatile, but long term, it's always going up and it's always beating inflation. And Bitcoin will continue to go higher. And that's why we will see Bitcoin reaching millions of dollars per coin one day, right? It's simple, guys. Okay, low supply, high demand. Since Bitcoin is so limited, it truly is the most scarce asset out there right now. The price will always rise. Okay, just think about it, guys, right? 60 million millionaires in the world, and there's ever only going to be 21 million Bitcoins, and it's actually less than that because millions of Bitcoins have been lost forever in the past, right? So that makes Bitcoin even more scarce. So if you guys really think about it, not even all the millionaires in the world can own a full Bitcoin. Just think about that, okay? So that's why I've been telling us to accumulate a full Bitcoin. So understand, looking at this, guys, you guys need to understand, okay, it gets cheaper for the people out there that save in Bitcoin and own Bitcoin. You can afford a house when you own Bitcoin. Okay, so looking at this, okay, and we have all seen this, I'm pretty sure, right? So you can see price of a home, US dollar versus Bitcoin. So in 2016, okay, you would need over 600 Bitcoins, 664 Bitcoins. 2020, you would need 45 Bitcoins. 2024, you would need 6.6 Bitcoins. And right now in 2025, you would need less than 4 Bitcoins, 3.7 Bitcoins. Okay, so understand it's just getting lower and lower and lower, right? To, use Bitcoin to buy these houses, right? While house prices are slightly going up. Okay, like imagine, guys, in 2016, you own 664 Bitcoins and you just held it all the way to 2025. You can literally just take out 3 Bitcoins and buy a home right there, and you would still have over 600 Bitcoins. Just think about that. Just think about how crazy that is, right? This is why you guys need to hold your Bitcoins for long term, okay? Really, this is truly the safest way to do it, guys. To build wealth, to have freedom, okay? To have wealth, okay? And, right, to beat inflation, okay? To afford things, you would need Bitcoin, okay? So looking at this, and I've showed you guys this in the past, right? So it's the same thing, Okay, 2012, how many Bitcoins you need all the way to 2028. Now, I've said this in the past and I'll say it again, right? I really do believe down in the future, like right now in 2025, you would need like 3 or 4 Bitcoins to buy a home, right? Around there, 3 or 4 Bitcoins to buy a home in 2025. But I really do believe down in the future, whether it's in 2030, 2032, right, 2035, you would need less than a full Bitcoin to buy a home. Meaning, yes, you would need maybe 0.7 of a Bitcoin, zero point 0.4 of a Bitcoin by 2028, maybe. What what this photo is showing us here, right? I really do believe down in the future this is possible. Okay. So it is important to own at least a full Bitcoin. Even just buying, okay, small amounts of Bitcoin, right? Satoshis even, right? Like for example, buying 0.1 Bitcoin. Okay, 10% of a Bitcoin is pretty important. Why do I say that? Well, let's do the math. Okay, you own 10% of a Bitcoin, 0.1 Bitcoin, and let's just say Bitcoin reaches $10 million one day. I think that's very, very possible. We will see that, of course, long term, right? Who knows when, but long term, yes, we're gonna see Bitcoin, okay, going up to $10 million and beyond. That 0.1 Bitcoin that you guys own will be worth $1 million. If Bitcoin, I say if, when Bitcoin reaches $10 million per coin. That's $1 million worth there if you own 10% of a Bitcoin, 0.1 Bitcoin. So think about it, right? Owning 0.1 Bitcoin can potentially make you a millionaire down in the future. It can. But imagine owning a full Bitcoin. That's $10 million right there. 10 million, you're pretty much like set. You know what I mean? Like you can do so much with that, honestly, right? So again, guys, this is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Okay, like just research about this. Why? It's important to stack Bitcoin, right? Stack Satoshis even, right? Because buying small amounts of Bitcoins matter. Okay, it really, really does, guys. Owning 0 Bitcoin, that's the risk. Not buying any Bitcoin, not owning any Bitcoin, that's the risk here, guys. Buying Bitcoin is not the risk. Owning 0 Bitcoin is the risk. Okay, so understand, guys, hash prices only get cheaper for those who save in Bitcoin. So, guys, start saving on Bitcoin. Buy some Bitcoin, dollar cost average into Bitcoin for as long as you possibly can and hold your Bitcoins. Don't sell your Bitcoins anytime soon. Hold your Bitcoins for the next decade at least, right? 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years from now, right? And you will be very, very wealthy. Okay, I'm telling you guys right now, you're very, very wealthy. Okay, so if you guys are young and you guys are watching this video or not, right? Maybe you guys are in your 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe, okay? It's still fine to stack Bitcoin, to buy Bitcoin, right? It really, really is, guys. Don't think it's too late to buy Bitcoin, because it's not, right? Bitcoin will move. In just 10 years, I think Bitcoin will be over $1 million for sure. Okay, in the year 2035, I think Bitcoin will be beyond $1 million, maybe $2 million, $3 million. You know, it is very, very possible, guys. So think about that. Okay, so again, guys, not financial advice, always do your own research. But that being said, I appreciate all you guys for watching today's video. I will keep you guys up to date on Bitcoin, but yeah, it is looking pretty good today for Bitcoin. 114, right? Absolutely amazing to see. So that being said, guys, I appreciate all you guys. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. That is always much, much appreciated. And yeah, I will catch you guys all in my next video. Have a good one, guys.